Hey guys, Jason here from Jason Beck Fishing, coming to you with another video. Basically a recap of what happened last weekend. I went to Connecticut and got to fish Candlewood Lake with New Jersey Bass Nation, which is kind of like their, I don't want to say minor league, bush league type, but it's basically um, a partnership type thing with Bassmasters, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I got to go out there. It was a blast. I placed second place. And I want to go down with basically the three baits that I was fishing with, and share with you guys what I was doing. This is going to segue into my review that I want to start doing on plastic baits. So the one that I'm bringing to you today is Zoom came out with a couple new baits this year. This one here by far has been my favorite. They came out with a swim bait and I believe a creature bait too as well. I don't remember exactly. But this one that I'm bringing to you today is called the Zoom Beatdown. It's basically a 10-pack of their super salty plus bait line that they make. You know, Zoom's been around forever. They're quality bait, reasonably priced. But basically this is their Ned bait that they've added to their series. So let me show it to you. I have 3 packs of colors that I use. I have what's called the Houdini, the California 420, and the Electric Shad, which is the one that I used to get the fish that I got to place second place in my tournament. I rigged them 3 different ways. What I'm going to do is tell you, I got fish on all different ways of doing it, but the one that I caught the least amount of fish on all the way up to the one I caught the most on. It's a pretty cool bait, you know. It's not going to be like the other Ned companies out there that are floating, all that stuff here. So let me show you what it is. It's basically a 3-inch, and I'll show that to you, stick bait. It's super flimsy, pretty lightweight. It does have salt impregnated into it like Zoom does. This here is the Houdini. I'll show you the California 420, and then we'll go to the other one. This is the California 420. It is like a dark, I'm going to tell you, it looks like pot. It's like a pot color with red flake, hence the name California 420. The one that I used was the Electric Shad. It was a dominant bait. You went out there, the wind was brutal. I tried drop shotting in the beginning, got nothing but crappies. I was in schools of crappie and just couldn't get out of them. Picked up a couple rock bass, some of the biggest ones I ever caught, and I caught some really big black and white crappies. We were fishing a lot of flats. We were fishing humps, rock beds, big boulders, and then we started getting into some weed beds too out there on the flats. So the first way I basically fished this and was just a typical wacky worm. I was doing it weighted. I don't have one rigged up now, but basically everybody knows a wacky rig. Actually, I'll use the one I have here. So basically what I was doing is I was taking an O-ring, putting the O-ring about halfway down with my tool, hooking it up, and I was using weighted because of the wind. I wanted to get the bait down there, and it was just a smaller presentation than your typical wacky worm, which could be 5-6 inches. It was a lot lighter to cast out, but with the weighted hook on there, wacky worm hook, I got it out there. I got a few bites on it. I got my smallest smallmouth that didn't actually make the cut on the list, so we had to call him out. But basically, it was just that subtle presentation on there, and with the wind, and I shake naturally when I fish, so these things have awesome action when I'm out there. The second way I rigged it was basically I turned it into a Neko rig, or Neko rig. I put a weight in the front of it, kept that O-ring up there, and I hooked the hook facing the other way, so when I drag the bait through those weed beds and through that moss that was on some of the boulders, I wasn't getting hung up too much. Now I did have a weedless hook on there, but I was losing bites from that. Took the weedless hook off, put this bait on there, and basically what I was doing was when I cast that bait out there, it was dragging So I don't know if I can get this to look right. But it would drag. And I would just drag this bait. And as I'm coming across gravel, rocks, weeds, that bait is sitting up with the line pulling its way. And that little tail is just giving that subtle motion. And it was basically looking like a bait fish feeding it on the bottom. I tore up my next size smaller fish. We named him Taco, which was pretty funny. And I got a good bite on him. It was cool that I tried all the other different colors with this because I thought, oh, the Neko rig's going to look good with, say, the Houdini or the California 420 to imitate a small crawfish. It wasn't there. So we moved around a lot. And the second way that I rigged up this bait, or third way I rigged up this bait, and basically what it's meant to be, is I was using, I believe it was a 1/10 ounce shroom head. Using the one from Z-Man. Actually came in my monster bass box, and I actually forgot that I have them. And I just rigged that up just like a normal Ned rig. And man, I got my biggest smallmouth, my PB smallmouth, and I got my 5-pound largemouth that I was looking for this year. And that's basically it. Same thing, same concept. I was dragging that long, and as that thing is doing, that tail is just, there's so much more action. I mean, look how much action that tail's got. But the coolest thing what happened is we were starting to move into areas to get out of the wind. The wind was just pounding us. And once we got out of the wind, we started flipping up near the shorelines. Flip up into a bed, boom, 5-pound largemouth. Flip into another bed, boom, 3.5 pound smallmouth. I mean, it was on. Then it was on from there. So, man, if you guys get a chance, I'm not sure if these baits are out on the market yet. I picked these up through a friend of mine who had a little bit of a way to get a hold of them. But, yeah, keep an eye on these Zoom Beatdowns. They're an awesome bait. Zoom, I know that they were getting a lot of criticism where people were saying, oh, Zoom is ripping off this company. In the soft plastic world, everybody rips off everybody. And I know some people are going to disagree with that. But you look at all these small-time bait companies that are buying all these molds. They're the same molds that these big companies are getting to as well. But anyway, guys, when you get a chance, get out there, look for these Zoom Beatdowns. Check your tackle warehouses. Check your Academy online. Check Amazon, eBay, places like that. And give them a shot. Tell me what you think, man. And point down below what bait you like me to try to do a test on next. I've been looking at some of the biospawn stuff. I've never used it before. Some of it intrigues me. We're starting here in New Jersey. The bass have pulled off the beds, and we're going into the post spawn. So I do really well with some of the trick worm, shaky head, stuff like that in this time. But I'm starting to see bluegills pull up on beds too as well. So maybe I get some of them bass that are going to start ambushing those big bluegills. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I'm going to try to get out a video once a week if I can. It's been tough. Next tournament's coming up. I'm going to be fishing the Potomac down on the Maryland-Virginia border. So we're looking for that. And then one after that, we fish Lake Apacon here in New Jersey, which is pretty close. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like I said before, hit that thumbs up button. Stay safe on the water. And catch me if you can.